Hi everyone, I'm delathardravin, and today I'm here talking to you guys about toxic gender. One of the topics that has been coming up in my life a lot recently is this idea behind toxic masculinity and toxic femininity or feminism. And I'm going to admit that I'm a little bit done with this us versus them mentality. There is literally a toxicity that exists and it affects both genders. Neither gender has it worse and neither gender has it better. The toxicity that exists is equally as bad. One of the biggest differences between the toxicity more shown towards women and the toxicity more shown towards men is that the toxicity we often know and is shown towards women is much more visible, but the toxicity to men is a lot more subtle, and it's just as bad. I'm going to give a very clear example, and I'm going to address this from both sides, as being perceived as female and as being perceived as male. Walking down the street alone at night. Women are raised with this idea that men are predators, that men only want sex, that they're going to attack you at any moment just because they are unable to maintain their sexual urges. And so I have walked down the street personally as a woman and seen a lone male walking at night, tensed up, reached into my pocket, grabbed my keys that were there, just in case this man decides to come close to me. That's a very unhealthy way to go about life, to be scared that at any moment you're going to be attacked. But that is how we raise girls and women to think. And now there's a flip side to that. I have now been down walking the street perceived as a male. Or maybe I'm walking home at night after work, after the bar, and I have watched a woman notice me and do the exact same thing that I have done to other men. And very obviously do her best to remain calm and being very nervous because I am being perceived as male. I am being painted as a predator now. And that's where a lot of that toxicity comes in, where that's a lot more subtle to men. We raise girls to believe that men are predators, and so that when they're walking down the street, when they see another man, their first instinct is to paint that man as a predator. And he knows what's going on. He's not dumb. He understands that that's how you perceive him. And I know I felt like I just wanted to go, hey, I understand where you're coming from, and I'm not that dude. There are just these toxic ideas that exist between each other, regardless of gender, and it goes both ways. It doesn't matter if you think it's targeted at one group or the other. Bottom line, at the end of the day, it affects both, and we are feeding into it. With our language, with how we treat each other, with our subtle body language, with what we tell each other, with how we raise our children, with the ideas of men being dangerous or women being unable to maintain their emotions. Whatever the toxic idea is, we are perpetuating it by allowing ourselves to believe that it's true. Are we taking the time to get to know each other so that we don't put each other in these boxes that are harmful and toxic? The idea that it's okay to say, well, your issues aren't as big of a deal because these other issues need to be dealt with isn't cool. And I'll be honest, women need to be held just as accountable for their actions, for what they are doing, as men do. If we are reaching a point where we are holding men accountable for their actions, for the toxic behavior that they exhibit towards women, then women need to be held accountable for the toxic behavior they hold towards men. We can hold each other accountable. You don't need to paint somebody as an evil villain because we are going to perpetuate this idea that everybody's evil, everybody's incapable of good. And we're going to walk down the street and we're just going to look at somebody and we're just going to immediately paint them as something that they don't deserve to be painted as. Everybody deserves to be seen, and everybody deserves to be seen for what they are. And it is not fair if we are painting our toxic ideas of what a person is or should be onto them. Because then we are not giving them the opportunity to show us that they are more than that. And that's on us as individuals. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of get that out there, get my thoughts on the matter, because this whole idea has been kind of rattling around in my brain for a little while. So tell me what you guys think. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on how you experience these toxic gender ideas. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Why? I'd love to know. Please leave comments down below. You guys can follow me for daily tidbits on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and allow yourselves to be free to be.